And what are the supplements that you take outside of creatine?
Yes, for sure. So on a daily basis, it's a probiotic with food in the morning and evening. And that's something I just recently learned. I was taking it on an empty stomach. But probiotic, I take 2 forms of magnesium, one before bed and then one in the day, threonate for cognition and function. I take 2,000 international units of vitamin D. I always take protein on a sufficient basis as well. And then I take about 4 grams of omega-3 fatty acids. And I always take one of the omega-3 fatty acids post-exercise because that seems to be the best time to take it.
So omega-3, magnesium, vitamin D.
Vitamin D, probiotics. Of course, creatine and protein, I take powder and or through dietary food. Every now and then, I don't eat a lot of red meat, so I'll take iron, but not on a consistent basis. And I'm hoping the new one this is an area of controversy, NAD. This is it's a precursor for a main enzyme that's highly involved in metabolism. There's been evidence to suggest it goes down with aging, so my eye is closely on that to see if that's going to be something to come up into play. And a multivitamin. Started with Flintstone vitamins as a kid, and I take a multivitamin a day as a safety net.
I noticed that when I looked at your video in the interview you did with Dr. Rhonda Patrick, a lot of the comments were from people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. Yep. And I wondered why that was. I was just looking at the top 3 or 4 comments, and it's a 71-year-old, it's an 82-year-old, it's a 53-year-old who's contending with Alzheimer's.
Right.
Why is that?
Yeah, I think it's the awareness and education now, and social media has really helped with this, getting our evidence-based research out to the public, and the awareness that creatine is just not for young males to get bigger, stronger, faster. If anything, when you go to an aging body and they're predisposed to age-related muscle loss, strength loss, functionality, bone loss, and atrophy in the brain, creatine has been shown to have effects there as well. So I think a lot of older individual populations are becoming more aware of the effects of creatine. And of course, as we produce more research, it gets out to the public more often. So I'm really excited and encouraged that creatine has sort of taken on a life of its own in the last decade.
And are there direct weight benefits if I'm trying to cut fat by taking creatine, or is it indirect?
It's indirect. So it seems that if you increase lean mass, it might stimulate energy expenditure or turnover. And then in animal models, it has been shown to have some beneficial effects from a cellular perspective on fat. But at the end of the day, if you are seeing a reduction in fat, it's likely that you're improving your metabolic health with lean tissue mass.
Do you think much about how to get these habits to stick? Because I imagine there's lots of people that are aware by now that creatine is a useful thing to take, but for whatever reason, they still don't take it.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons people don't. So we got to come up with ways to maintain consistency. And I think whatever vehicle you want to choose to maintain that in the run of a day is the best. So if it's putting in your coffee in the morning, because you won't forget it, great. If it's putting a little bit in Greek yogurt, if it's using the gummies, whichever it is, as long as it's a viable source of creatine that makes it very practical and consistent for you, that's the best way.
Yeah, I found that having it en route to where I'm going being really, really important. Yep. So when I come to my office in the morning, it's all on my desk.
Yes.
So I have the supplements just on my desk. Right. And actually, even before I walked into the studio today, in the green room that I have, it's on the green room.
Right.
When I'm at home, it is where the coffee machine is.
Correct, yeah.
And that has radically helped me. Otherwise, if it wasn't within my routine, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah, we have a jug on the counter with all our other supplements. It's in the pantry, it's close by, because if it's in the garage, you're like, I forgot about it. Yeah.
I think the other thing is, with some things like creatine, it's hard to really notice the difference sometimes.
Excellent point. Yeah. This is not like caffeine, it's an immediate effect. So unlike caffeine, creatine takes a while to notice the effects, and they come in direct. You don't immediately notice a massive increase in energy or alertness. It's like after a week of weight training or even 2, you're like, wow, I did more repetitions. I could do more weight. I recover quickly is one that we hear quite often. You'll never notice with your bone, but we have heard anecdotally with cognition, especially sleep deprivation, people do notice the effects. And I'm an N of 1, but I notice jet lag goes down quite a bit when I take a high dose of creatine.
And, when you start taking it, if you start taking it today, if I start taking 3 to 5 grams of creatine today, am I going to notice the differences today?
No, with 3 to 5 grams, you'll probably notice it in a few weeks, if not to a month from a muscle perspective. From a brain perspective, that low, you're likely not going to notice any effect because the brain is probably making enough. But if you're really metabolically stressed, then you might notice some memory or cognitive benefits after a few days. But at such a low dose, you need to be a little bit patient. But again, 3 grams could saturate your skeletal muscle in 30 days, so it's not that long of a wait.
And on the cognitive side,
yes,
the cognitive benefits that were observed when doing these Stroop tests, had they been taking it previously, or was it just administered on that particular day when the test happened?
Yeah, so that one was in a week in advance with the loading phase. So they really saturated the body to try to get the effects.
Okay, so they were taking it for some time.
Yeah, but on the sleep deprivation study from Germany, they just gave it one bolus mega dose for 21 hours of sleep deprivation, and those individuals did perform better from a number of tests like this the next day. So if you're like, wow, I got something coming up Friday, unfortunately, I'm not going to get any sleep, at best 1 or 2 hours, then a high dose might come into play, and then you can go back to your more consistent routine. I think what happened or is happening is a lot of individuals are now thinking I need to take 20 or 30 grams on a daily basis based on those studies. And I'm like, wait a minute, are you getting enough sleep the next day? Because at that dose, we don't know if the neuron will swell with water. And if that's the case, is that potentially causing any detrimental effects in the long term? So again, I would not recommend taking a mega dose for consistently over time. Could that downregulate your natural synthesis? These are all questions that we need to look at. Yeah.
So outside of the realm of creatine, outside of the realm of muscle, outside of the realm of, I guess, nutrition generally, what are you doing to keep yourself healthy?
Yeah.
What is your routine?
Yeah, so I'm religious with exercise. So I try to exercise at least 3 to 4 days a week with weight training and add in at least 20 to 30 minutes of either moderate intensity cardio or like a spin class. I personally like to do alternating days. Okay. So I'll do weight training like maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then cardio Tuesday, Thursday, and then on the weekends, hiking, things like that. Pretty religious with nutrients as well. Try to eat a really balanced diet. And my failure is getting enough sleep. So I've had to cut caffeine out quite a bit by past noon to allow me. I'm probably a slower metabolizer with caffeine. So I try to really optimize evidence-based research, take it into my daily life and try to promote it that way. Yeah.
And is there anything you're particularly excited about in the work and research that you're doing?
I'm super fascinated with the movement from the neck up. I think we know a lot about the neck down with creatine and exercise or other nutrients. I'm fascinated with the ability, what about concussion? You know, can the UFC fighter take creatine before they get hit? Could that decrease CTE or concussion or brain trauma later on in life? I think of boxing, Muhammad Ali, things like that. So there's evidence in rodents that if you take creatine before head trauma, it really speeds up concussion recovery. So I'm fascinated with that as well, like almost a prophylactic. Anybody involved in head trauma, I think you should definitely look at creatine as something to be taking just in case you get hit. And then, of course, everything with Alzheimer's or other areas of depression. So I'm fascinated that this nutrient, which was, 1832 it was discovered, boring for the longest time because we thought we knew everything, and now it's taken a life of its own and it's having these profound benefits we never even thought would happen yet.
A lot of people consider you to be the sort of leading expert on this subject for many reasons. Do you think there'll be a time where you stop researching creatine and you move on to something else?
That's interesting. I would have said yes about 5 years ago, but now, no, there's too much to do. Even with skeletal muscle, if you were to say, what's the best dose, Darren, to take? I say, I have no clue. Every creatine researcher said, I don't know. We still don't know the best dose that every person can take that will check off all the boxes, especially in the brain. We're just giving an estimate that I take 10, maybe you take 12, someone might take 15. But at the end of the day, we still don't know the best supplementation protocol, the best dose. So there's so many areas. So for the next 20 years, I bet y'all still be focusing on creatine with other things as well, yeah.
And on that doses, is that different for different people?
Excellent question. So the thought was that the larger you are, you have more storing capacity in your muscle for creatine. So it makes sense if you're 50 kilograms and 150 kilograms, you're going to have a greater storing capacity. So the dose on a relative basis is likely higher there as well. The more stressed the person is, it's likely they're going to require more because their natural machinery in the brain can't keep up. So it is very individualistic. I think we give out general recommendations to make it easy. But again, some people can take it very scientifically and base it on body weight, and you can't go wrong with both. Yeah,
I bet there's a lot of people that are this far into the conversation, and their central question is, right, I've got loved ones that I really, really want to start considering creatine supplementation for whatever reason. It could be cognitive benefits, muscular benefits, whatever, all the things we've talked about. They might end up sending this conversation to their loved ones.
Right.
Something that I do sometimes when I have episodes that are particularly moving for me. If their loved ones are now listening. And you had to make a case to their loved ones about why they should take creatine. What would you say?
I would say creatine is one tool in that health promotion toolbox that might help you live longer and better and allow you to maintain activities later on in life, which you wouldn't have been able to do. And unfortunately, that leads to accelerated aging and a poor way to go. It's like saying, I'm going to save everything for retirement. My question is why? You might not make it to retirement. So that's one of the things, yeah.
Aging?
Yes.
What is aging in your definition of the word?
It's catastrophic. Unfortunately, I'm going through it. You know, I've noticed ever since I hit the 4th decade, things hurt a lot more, and muscle mass to retain it's a little bit harder. So unfortunately, think of the body's ability to withstand stress is not as high, and things start to break down quite fast. So we all know, you know, things hurt more. We've lost muscle mass. I can't run as fast. So biological aging is kind of the deterioration of the human body. We need to, with this conversation and others, come up with ways to stop the deterioration, and if anything, come up with ways to maintain that ability to live longer free of disease. Yeah.
We have a closing tradition on this podcast where the last guest leaves a question for the next, not knowing who they're leaving it for. This one's quite a tricky question.
Okay.
What is reality? What do you think all of this is? All this stuff that we can see and all we experience. What do you think it is? Do you think it's a simulation? Do you think it's...
This is all real for sure, because I think we can feel it. It's not a Big Brother or anything that's a game show. We all go through different emotions and things like that. So I think you can feel it. Yeah.
Are you religious?
Yes, Catholic, Roman Catholic. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're a family man? You've got... Got some
a French bulldog and a cat, as we talked about, and a wife at home, and really close to my family and stuff like that. Yeah.
And what is your goal? If we get to the end of your career and this was your last day and you had been successful.
Oh, yeah. I think it would be a lasting impression on my students that, wow, he changed my life in some way. And if I can make one person live longer, free of disease and happier, I'm all for it. You know, when you start to see the human body, as people get older, you're like, oh, that person used to be young and vibrant. And then when you hear other people that can't do activities they live in, or they can't travel, or they're afraid to, I'm like, you need to embrace today. I love that quote from Morgan Freeman, Shawshank, get busy living or get busy dying. Because honestly, we have the ability with lifestyle choices to improve optimization. And I want to see people live to be 120, 130, still active, still going. And I think we're on the cusp with technology. And I think awareness around nutrition, exercise, sleep, laughter. Oh, geez, if I could ask anybody to do one more thing, it'd be just laugh more often. For me to be just a small piece of the puzzle promoting it, I think it's, if anything, it's just beyond my belief, yeah.
Why did this pull you in? I ask that in part because it tends to be the case that the things that draw us in or pull on make us curious, there tends to always be a bit of a personal reason.
Right, yeah. It was more that, you know, am I scared of death? 100%. Yeah, I can't think of it, yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I just think it's weird for me. I get to a point, maybe being religious, and then you think about it, and then my brain stops. I can't think about it.
Really?
Yeah, and it's almost like I want to live forever, and if I can think of ways to make me live and partially get there, obviously it's not reality, but yeah, I'm scared to death of dying, yeah.
Have you always been?
Yep, 100%. Scared to death of heights, and I can't even talk about the death experience, yeah. Because I think it sort of brings into perspective things that you just don't know.
Did you ever lose anybody?
Just friends and things like that, but nothing specific like parents or anything like that yet. But it's always been there. I don't know if it's the Roman Catholic in me or not, but it's like, whoa, I don't want that at all, yeah.
You can't even talk about it?
Can't even talk about it, no, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's kind of like, I can talk about it in a sense I understand it and it's realistic, but it's more that for some reason I don't even want to think about it because I have so much passion for life that I don't even want to think about, oh shit, this could happen, yeah.
And you believe you go somewhere after death?
Oh, for sure. Heaven, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you do believe you're going to heaven, that sounds like a good place, no?
Great place, yeah. I just want to spend more time here. There's still a lot of things to do, yeah, for sure.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
If you love the Diary of a CEO brand and you watch this channel, please do me a huge favor. Become part of the 15% of the viewers on this channel that have hit the subscribe button. It helps us tremendously, and the bigger the channel gets, the bigger the guests.